Hello everyone, Jim here with Sunrise Farm. Today is Thursday, July 13th, and this is just going to be a little farm update, kind of show you where we are on our new plots. We keep getting day after day after day of showers and like 30-minute hard downpours, and it's just really preventing me from getting the other plots completely finished. But let me show you where we're at. We'll show you the whole thing and what we're getting ready to do to start some planting even in July, but setting up really hard for the 1st of August, where there's a ton of things that go in the ground for me down here in South Carolina in Zone 8B. So let me turn you around on the garden. We'll get to the little garden tour. As you can see, here's kind of the overview of my garden, starting with tomatoes and corn. I'm kind of going out that way towards the front of my property where those other plots are being developed. So let's just do a little walkthrough. As you can see, if you look down on the ground, that grass, I mean, the weeds are one thing, but that grass is just, man, is it tough to get out of there. I know this is going to take me some manner of seasons now to get it out completely. In fact, we're cleaning up, taking out some lines of drip tape. We're getting ready to set up for tilling it. Unfortunately, I'm in a position where I have to rent a tiller. So I'm setting it up to where I can rent a tiller for a day or two and get it all done at once. Quite frankly, the tomatoes, although they're growing and we're getting some, we've harvested a few. We are having some issues with blossom end rot. I know that's more of a calcium deficiency and I got to take care of that. Here are the cucumbers. We still have cucumbers coming, but they're starting to die back. I'm gonna have to replant them here in the first part of August anyway. I'm trying both this, which is that Hortanova trellis system, actually working really well for cucumbers. So I think I'm going to probably continue with that. But I also tried, off of my tomato trellis, I had a little bit of room. I'm trying this particular string method trellis that I've seen some people use just to see if I like it or not. And I can see the value in it too, to be honest with you. So if you have limited space or only doing a few plants, I could see this working really well with a string trellis on the cucumbers. So let's just take a look at my corn. My corn is about, in most places, about waist high. In this particular round of corn, my first round, if you watched my first couple of videos, my first round I killed. I couldn't keep the grass and weeds out fast enough, and it just choked them out, and I just couldn't deal with it. But this corn is actually doing quite amazing. So I'm so happy with this corn. Unfortunately, trying to control the grass and weeds because it got a little overgrown to start with. As you can see, we got it pretty much under control just in this one little section now. But unfortunately, when I was catching up on the weeding and getting the grass out, well, we took out about a handful of plants. But the corn is doing really nice. A lot of tassels going on. You can see the tasseling going on. So we're getting there. Some silk starting to come up. And here are our pickle cucumbers. Again, the Hortanova trellis system is working just lovely. This is the same one. I've got my cucumbers down there. Then I switched to the pickling cucumbers. In fact, I got a couple in there. I see I got a pick. Couple right there, but one's funky shaped. But this one right here, ready to pick. In fact, we'll go ahead and pick it. Another one down here on the ground. I'm gonna let that one be. Since I'm seed saving, I'm gonna let a couple of them go to full ripeness. And as you can see here, you can probably see where I pulled rows of drip tape out. A few things that were in there, some zucchini that had died back. These are our eggplants. Full row of eggplant, and they are doing awesome. Of course, they don't mind the heat. Got about 4 growing there, pretty nice. And some of the other ones are starting to flower and bloom. But as you can see how fast this grass keeps coming back on me, which is why I pulled up the drip tape so I can get in here with that tiller. I'm going to prep this thing good again. And this time we're going to be using a mulch solution to help keep that under control, because that's tough to manage. Here's a couple of my sunflowers that are still coming up. And over here on this butternut squash that I was mentioning, yes, we've had a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetable sets, but the vines are dying rapidly. I don't believe these will come to full fruition. I'm just going to have to replant them at the correct time, which is coming up. And then we had planted a full row of okra, double row of okra actually. And I don't know if you can see that very good. Here, maybe that's a better picture. Some of our okra, some of the first ones we put in the ground were coming up so sweet. They were nice and bushy. Deer came in, topped them all. Ate every single thing off the top. Now, I just now noticed as I'm filming this, there's one leaf that's reproduced itself, or started to grow, I guess I should say. I don't know if these plants will salvage themselves or not. I don't know if that's possible for them, because those deer did a number on them. But in actuality, as I stand here and look at it, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of okra ready to harvest. And then over here, got a full row of just regular yellow squash, just regular summer squash. Whoop, there's one down there that need to be picked. Down there now, but that's a little big one there. Probably missed that one last day or two. And then there's more of my okra. A couple down here need to be harvested as well. I'll get to that a little bit later. Deer hadn't made their way on this side of the, I don't know if you can really tell because of the grass. Man, I tell you, in the garden I despise grass. Anyways, but the Lord made it, so therefore it's good. My whole row of okra, the middle section never really came up very well. Both ends came up pretty nice, and on the far end down there towards the woods is where the deer got them. Now you can see I have more rows I pulled up of drip tape. Had some stuff I tried there, it didn't really work out, so I'm having to reset my thinking on that. I'm setting up to, when I get this all cleaned up, we're going to be planting things like beans and peas and lima beans and things like this. And I even have the opportunity, given my growing season based on the almanac anyway, let me put it that way, that I can still get if I can make it by the end of the month, I can still get a crop of corn in as well. And we're getting ready to plant some watermelon and another round of pumpkin in that pumpkin patch I mentioned. But down here is sweet potatoes. They're doing great. Unfortunately, I got to get the weeds out of here, but once I till the sides and clear up the sides where I can get at them better, then I'll weed in between them. So here's just a walkthrough on the pumpkins and the watermelon. The pumpkin, I'm going to be doing a separate video here. Actually, probably later today I'm going to film it, because those pumpkins, as you can see, they pretty much have died out. Pumpkins are ready to be harvested. A lot of them are about the size of about a soccer ball kind of size. And yeah, I mean, there's still a few green ones in there, but for the most part, they've all ripened up. They've all kind of hardened off in the sun. And then if you look, here is a giant carpet of watermelon. That stuff has just, when it decided to take off, which is like in the last 30 days of its life cycle, because we didn't even see any fruits until about 30 days ago. We were starting to wonder. But when it decided to take off, it hauled butt. There's watermelon everywhere in here now. And they hide themselves really good with the camouflage. We tried one, technically today actually is the date that you're supposed to, said it would be harvested. So we're going to try one this weekend. We're just going to wait. You can see this one right here. We'll probably try that one right there. But we tried one about a week ago just to see where we were at, because we got about 20 or 30 of them in here. See another one down in there. See another one. See one right there growing on the mound. It is amazing how well they hide themselves, though, I'll tell you that. So anyway, we tried that one about a week ago, and it wasn't quite ripe. My wife's kind of a watermelon aficionado. She loves watermelon. Me, I can take it or leave it. So I wouldn't have known if it was that good or that bad. But anyway, so here is our cantaloupe. I got to buy some more trellis and put them up. I've got another couple plants down there to get on the trellis, but I also got some plants ready to go in the ground. I wanted a full row of cantaloupe. When I say full row, for us, full rows are in most part 40 feet. So that's what I'm going by. As you can see, got a cantaloupe there. Got a few baby cantaloupe coming. Got cantaloupe down there. That was the first one. And then let's walk around the other side here. And so I'm doing my cherry tomatoes on this, trying it on this Hortonova trellis. And so far, I've been pretty happy with it. You can see my cherry tomatoes are starting to come along really now. I mean, if you followed any of my videos, you already know that I was well behind the planting curve. But these cherry tomatoes are coming along beautifully. They look great. I've got several more seeds started so that I can kind of finish out my row. And once I get past the August heat, the tomatoes, I mean, everything should start growing again basically. So the tomatoes should last me well into probably October, maybe even early November. But here are the sunflowers. They were beautiful. These three smaller ones have died. And way back when I said that I planted one seed per mound, and I did, but I forgot that one didn't germinate, and so I used another seed for it. And what did I use? I used one called a Russian mammoth. That thing is about 12 feet tall, 10 to 12 feet tall. So only 3 out of my 4 original seeds germinated, but when I planted the one Russian mammoth seed, it germinated itself, so that's how I ended up with 4. And that stalk on that thing is more than an inch around. It's probably 1.25 inches in diameter. All right, so there's the main garden. Here are the other 3 plots I've been trying to add and work on, but for the life of me, the rain is just killing me. I had to do, this is not, yes, I've created kind of 3 mounds here out of this first plot. It looks ugly and disorganized, but it seems to be working okay. But I was in kind of an emergency situation with these peanuts. If you happen to watch that peanut video, where I was, you can see the little yellow flowers on them probably, where I was running into a problem that they had already outgrown my 1-gallon pots that I had upsized to. So I had to kind of do a dirty type of mound system. I mean, you can even see the grass in it. All I did was really, where I had already disced it up the first time, I just started shoving that in the mounds. I really had no choice. It was either that or probably going to lose them. I couldn't get in here with, well, in fact, if you see that kind of water right there, and that's it's not because my ground holds that much water, it's because it keeps raining that much. But I couldn't get my tractor in here. In fact, I tried yesterday. Right here, you can see where I thought I could go ahead and start disking it again. I tried yesterday. The tractor won't hold good enough traction to disc. So anyway, here's the other peanuts. I got 36 in total, actually 35. I killed one yesterday. I hit it with the tractor, wasn't paying attention. And then in the middle are some jalapeno peppers. And if you ask me why there's peanuts are separated, that's because that middle mound where the jalapenos are, I realized after the fact that I did not get that mound tall enough for what I wanted with the peanuts, because the peanuts are an in-ground crop, much like a potato or any type of root vegetable. So I just went ahead and made a different mound and just separated the two mounds. I made it work for my purposes. Hopefully it's going to work. And so on out here are the other 2 plots. Now that far plot is the one we were going to do the pumpkin in. Well, we've changed our mind. We've changed it up a little bit because that out there is going to be watermelon. And the main reason for that is we're seed saving, and we needed to separate some things that we're getting ready to plant in the big plot make sure we had far enough separation. So far plot's going to end up being watermelon. And as soon as I can get in there and disc it up a little bit and come in there and hit it with the tiller, which should be in the next couple of days because I don't really have a lot of rain in the forecast. And then this plot is the middle plot now is going to be the one for the pumpkin patch. And I'll show you the pumpkins a little bit later. They are in 1 gallon pots now. They're already up to about their 5th true leaf, and they have outgrown or started to outgrow those pots. I'm a little concerned because they're not in the ground already. Like I said, it's July 13th. I should have had them in the ground, honestly, 2 weeks ago. But I just simply cannot get this ground prepped fast enough. And I've started to add some leaf mulch because I'm just going to go ahead and put some leaf mulch in here to both help dry it out, and when I get in here with the disc and the tiller, I'm going to incorporate it. So I got a bunch more of that I'm going to put all over this plot, and I'm just going to drive it into the ground. So here are the pumpkin plants. Most of them I've already potted up into 1 gallon pots. You can still see there's a few I still need to pot up. But I am desperately, you might even be able to hear the thunder in the background right now as I'm doing this. I am desperately praying for some dry days so I can get the ground ready and get these in their new home and let that pumpkin patch begin. So anyway, I hope you appreciated the update. Just seeing all the struggles of farming. It's a lot of hard work, but it's rewarding. It's rewarding to see stuff grow. Certainly rewarding to grow your own food and eat it. What a blessing that is. And it's a labor of love. Farming is not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But I just wanted to give you a little update on what was going on. I got more videos being prepped and coming out. The rain has really prevented me from doing a lot, and I tell you, anyways, it just messed everything up. But I'm doing some seed starting as well, making some different improvements there, which we'll be doing some separate videos on. So I hope you like this. Take care. God bless you. Have an awesome day.